Capital gains tax calculator. This is a great useful tool for you to understand how much capital gains tax that you need to pay over to HMRC when you are making a property disposal. Please note that you have to record this information to HMRC within 60 days of your disposal. So make sure that you use this CGT tax calculator to understand how much CGT you are likely to pay within 60 days, which then gets adjusted again on your personal self-assessment tax return at the year end. So go ahead and make use of this free capital gains tax calculator. Hi everyone, my name is Misiewicz and I'm going to be talking you through the capital gains tax calculator, which is going to help you to understand what your tax calculation needs to be, what you need to pay to HMRC. So here we go through the calculator. There is a bunch of stuff that I think is going to be useful for you to understand what capital gains tax is and how you can minimize it as well. So feel free to go through that. That's more at the bottom page. So there's sections about reporting, etc. So have a look at that. Then hopefully you can save some tax along the way. Let's go into the capital gains tax calculator itself. And there's a few pages. It's not going to be quick, but it will give you the answers that you're looking for. This is per person as well. So we're going to tackle this with the residential. There are two different rates for residential property versus commercial. So non-residential property is typically commercial properties, shops, restaurants, warehouses, that kind of thing. But most of you watching this video will be interested in the residential tax calculator. You choose the relevant tax year, so 2023 in this case. Just type in your name. It doesn't really make much difference, to be fair, but if you want to print it out, for instance, it might be useful. Taxable income, that is how much you earn or expect to earn in the tax year that you're selling the property. So let's just put in there as an example, 50,000. CGT losses brought forward. If you have sold assets in historically and have made a loss on those, you can bring forward your capital gains tax losses, enter that information there, and that will be relevant. I'm going to put 0 for this purposes though. The name of the property, so 123 High Street as an example, and percentage of property. Now again, if you are husband, wife, civil partner, you may have 50%, you might have 99%, you might have 1%. This is per person, so please make sure that you just type in your percentage share. If you are married, you'll need to repeat this process for your spouse as well. So I'm just going to put in here 100%. And then purchase date, it's got 0 in there, but I'm going to assume I bought the property in the year 2000 and sold the property on 31st 12 2022, and that will now tell me the days that number of days that I own the property, so 8,400. Now if I lived in the property, I can get private residency relief. Details of that will be below this particular page, website page, so feel free to have a read of that. But we're going to assume I lived in the property for 1,000 days. You do need evidence of that to say I have council tax going, I am electoral roll, council tax, utility bills, phone bills, everything was going to that property at the time I was living there. That's my evidence. Okay, so what it's going to tell me now is days not lived in the property and total days check. There you look okay. And now I'm going to put in my house price. So let's imagine I sold the property for 200,000. Less sales fee, so my estate agent fee might have been 2,000. I bought the property for 100,000 many years ago. Less purchase fee, so if I had stamp duty fees or solicitor's fees, 100,000 maybe not, so I'll put just a small solicitor's fee in there. Stamp duty on tax, it will be 0, but again, you do need to check your completion statement to make sure that you do not miss out on the stamp duty. That is so many mistakes I see with the people doing their own capital gains tax calculation, that they miss out the stamp duty land tax on the purchase, and they miss out the refurbishment costs on the purchase, but I'm going to put that at 0 anyway. And as you can see there, I've got a property, I've just noticed that the profit is 97,000, so I had to double check that for some reason. So that's all fine. So I'm going to click on next. And it will say your share of the profits is 97,000. I'm 100% owner of this property, so I would expect to see that. The private residency relief, which is a tax relief against capital gains tax, because I lived in the property. So PRR, or private residence relief, has been given to me and it's calculated it for me. Now it's giving me my taxable profit of 85,452, but I do get an annual 2,300. Now, I have put that number in there because if you've used your capital gains tax annual allowance on selling another asset, then that's why it's been, you've got to change it from 12,300 down to whatever number it needs to be. If you sold 2 properties at the same time, you can only use 12,300 for one. It's an annual exemption for you as an individual, not per property. So that's really important to know. And underneath there, it says there, I've got 73,152, which is taxable. Basic rate tax band, 10% is £49. High rate tax band tax is 20,406. And then my total capital gains tax will be 20,455. And what I would then have to do is take this information. If I just click on next, that will give you all of the summary details. So you could just print this information off and then use that then for your HMRC uploading of your tax return, which has got to be done typically 60 days within the sale of your property. So hopefully this calculator will give you some good guidance. Don't forget, there are many ways of reducing capital gains tax before you sell that property. So make sure you get some tax advice before doing so.